Hello, friends. Welcome back to How to Master SQL DBA with TK. And as you already know, I'm TK himself. So, last class, we had a very good time. So, we talked about how to RDP and ping servers, right? Remember, it was supposed to be about partitioning, but we ended up making the class about how to RDP and pinging servers. So today we are going to do partitioning. But again, because pinging is so important, we are going to talk about it a little bit more today. We will give a little bit more demonstration so you understand what is going on before we start with our partitioning. Again, if today's your first time watching our videos, as you can see, we have accomplished all these tasks right here, and all the videos are related. So please, you will need to start watching from the beginning to understand what we are doing to catch up. And again, everything is on our YouTube page right here. So without talking too much, let's go to our Hyper-V manager. Let's check as usual. All our virtual machines are running. All three is running. So let me do a demonstration with pinging real quick before we start doing our partitioning. Okay, first thing first. So let me go on my domain computer. So this is my domain controller. I'm here. So I type CMD, command prompt. So CMD stands for command prompt. And I right click on it. I run as administrator, right? And say yes. Now I want to ping. I say ping HDC dash SQL 02. Let's do 02. Hit enter. As you can see right there, what we said last time, this is what is happening. SQL 02 is up. The ping is working. So package send right here, that's the IP address. It said the package sent for package received, 0 loss. Everything is good. Now, let's turn off, let's shut down SQL 02 and do a ping. Again, so that the reason I want to demonstrate this to you is because sometimes at work, if you have this issue, if a computer is inaccessible, somebody might have shut it down, right? So you can tell your boss or you can inform somebody, hey, what's going on, right? This computer was supposed to be on. It's not a maintenance weekend. Why is this computer on? Why can't we access this computer? So that they start figuring out what is going on with that computer. So let's come to SQL 02 and we go right here. Let's say a new DBA comes in and they don't know that you're not supposed to shut it down, right? Instead of logging out, and they shut it down. And boom. So everything is shutting down. Everything is shutting down, and it's turned off right now. So it's shut down right now. People start complaining that, oh, what's going on with SQL 02, right? And you try to ping it. So let's go back and try to ping it right now. So let's do the same thing that we just did. We say ping HDC dash SQL 02. Enter. Oh no! So time out. Something's wrong. Remember, everything's spelled right. Everything's right, but something is not. You see? What does it say right there? Destination host unreachable. So once you see that, it tells you that that computer is not working. So it says right here that package sent for, package received to 2 loss. So 50% loss. It means the computer is in the process of shutting down. There's something wrong because it has to be 100%, right? So once you see that, if it's a server that you know it's supposed to be up and running, you have to contact somebody, your boss or somebody, right? And say, hey, this production server, today is not a maintenance weekend. What is going on? So that is why I'm emphasizing on pinging, so you know, right? Okay. Now that we understand this, and now that we have clarified the whole pinging, Now we can continue with our partitioning. So let me close this. Let me get out of the domain and let me restart my SQL02. So this and connect. And oh, another thing, please do not revert, right? So sometimes you come, you want to say revert. If you click revert, it's gonna undo some of the changes that we did on your computer. So always try to continue. Do not revert, because sometimes we might have done like create users, do some changes, and I don't know how far back the revert is gonna go. Once you revert, it's going to undo all of those changes. So do not revert. Continue. And you click start and click start. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so we do not want, unless you are having an issue. Let's say your computer crashed or something that you want to revert back to a point in time. If not, there's no point of you reverting unless you want to undo some changes that you did on your computer on purpose. Okay, so let's log in back as Shiloh.t, and now we go in there as America 2025, and we see this and we enter. All right, good. So okay, so let's get down to business. Let's do our partitioning. Finally we are now doing partitioning. So first thing first, we are going to start our partitioning in SQL 01. Then we're going to move to SQL 02. So why do we do partitioning and how do we do partitioning? So based on Microsoft best practices, again, I know I said this class was hands-on. We're not going to talk too much, but let's just talk a little bit. Based on Microsoft best practices, it advises us that, hey, if you want to install SQL, you have to partition your drives so that the different SQL files are kept on different drives. Just in case one of those drives get corrupted, you always have another drive that you can go on, right? So that it's not because if you put everything on one drive, like on your C drive, that C drive get corrupted, your whole entire operation is corrupted, right? But if you have a backup drive, you have a data drive, a log drive. If your data drive is corrupted, you can always go to your backup drive and restore your databases from there. So that's the whole point on why we do partitioning. So now how do we do it? Again, the server team is going to do this, right? So don't worry too much about it. All you have to do is tell the server team that, hey, I need space, and they'll increase space. So it's not your job to increase space on your server. It is your job to monitor the server, make sure you have enough space. But for the purpose of this class, I'll show you how partitioning is done on your computer. So all you have to do, you go to your search bar, you write partition. Okay. Just like that. As you type partitioning, this right here comes up. It says create and format hard disks. Click on that. Once you click on that, yes, now over here, this opens up. This is telling us that our C drive has 126 gigabytes, GB, right, of space. And we want to partition that into different drives. We are going to create 4 different drives, right? So this is called the drives, right? The C drive, the C disks, right? So when I say drive, it's not mean I'm driving a car. It's not a highway. Okay, it's just a joke. You understand what I'm saying? So now, how do we partition this? Right click on the C drive. Once you do that, go to where it says shrink volume. Click on that. So now it's shrinking. You just wait. Now, how much do I want to partition, right? Remember, I have 4 drives. So let me do 80. So 80,000 to be more specific. So 8, because once I do 80,000, so 20 plus 20 plus 20 plus 20 is 80. So I'm going to give each drive 20,000. And this is in megabytes. If you convert that to gigabytes, it will be about 19 point something gigs or 18 point something gigs. So let's do 80,000 megs. Let me see. Go back one. So let's do that right here. 00. What's going on? Okay, go back. Numbers. So 8, 1, 1, 2, 3. Good. So that is 1 hour to partition. 80,000, right? That's 80,000, correct? So I click on shrink. Now that 80,000, as you can see, it's saying that I have about 78.13 gigabytes. That is fine. So it's unallocated. Now I want to allocate this drive. How do I do it? How do I do it? Right click on that space right there. Go to where it says new volume, click. Then click on next. And now just click on next. Everything's fine. Now we want to give it a letter. So we want to create first the backup drive. So let's go with B for backup. If you don't have B for backup, just use a letter. You can use G, but just, yeah, because anyway, we are going to identify the drive by spelling it. So it doesn't matter, but just ensure that you choose a good letter. If you have a B, that's fine. So choose B, then go next. Now here, where it says new volume, you want to name it, right? You don't want to call it new volume. So change it right there. So write backup, just like that. And then you click next and you click finish. That is all there is to it. Very easy, right? So now we are going to partition the other 3 drives of this backup drive, right? So remember we gave it 80,000 MB. So now let's right click on this backup drive and we go to where it says shrink volume. And now in that box right there, we should give it 20,000. So 20,000 MB to 1, 2, 3. Then click on shrink. Once it shrinks, it's about 19 point something. That is correct. So we right click on it right there, the green, go to new volume, go to next, just go to next. And now let's give it a letter. What letter do we have for data? Do we have a D? No, we don't have a D. So let's go with E. Let's take E, we go next. And now let's change the name, the new volume, and we're going to call it data or data. Like a typical African man, let's call it data. Frenchman, data. Okay. All right. So we go next. And let's click. Did I miss something? Nope. Let's go next. And let's click finish. All right. Then let's go back again to the backup drive right here. Right click on backup again. We go to shrink. And then we want to write again in there where it says enter amount of space to shrink, right? You already know that's what we did last time. Let's put 20,000. So 20, 2220. Then we hit shrink. Again, it's going to give us the same size, 19 point something. So on the green space, we right click on it, go to new volume. Then we go to next. We just go to next again. Then now let's do log. We have L. Yes, we have L. So choose L. We go next. Now the new volume, again, you cancel that and you put log just like that. And you go next and finish. Then we have one more to go. So again, you go to the backup right here, same place. You right click on your backup. You go to shrink. Then you put in 20,000 one more time. 1, 1, 2, 3, just like that. So you hit shrink. And once you hit shrink, you will see that all the drives have the same space, right? Good. So now here in the green, that's the free space. You hit that. You go to new volume. You hit next. You hit next. And now let's go and look for letter T. Yes, T is available. So let's select that. And we go next. Now, the name that we want to give this is called TempDB, like TEMPDB, TempDB. And then we hit next and we hit finish. So we have partitioned. We have successfully partitioned our drives for SQL installation. But there's something else that I want us to do before we continue with our installation. Let's close from here and let's go to our File Explorer. So let's click on this File Explorer right here. And let's click on this PC. Once we are on this PC, we see that This is our drives right here. You see, everything looks good. Everything is looking perfect. So let's click on this backup drive right here, right? First thing, in this backup drive, let's create a folder in there called SQL backup. So you know how to create folders, right? You click or right click, go to new, and go to folder, and you create a folder in there called SQL backups, just like that. And you click, you hit OK. Then you go back, or if you can't go back, you click on this PC again. Now you go to data. Click and go inside data. And you do the same thing. You just create a folder in there called SQL data. Cancel that. Just create a folder called SQL or SQL data. Hit enter. Click on this PC. Then you go to log. This is log right here. You create the same thing. You create a folder in there. Right click. Go to new folder. And now you already know that we are going to create a folder called SQL logs. Click enter. Then now we click on this PC. We go to TempDB. So we are going to create another folder into TempDB. So go to right click, you go to new, go to folder, and you create a folder called SQL Temp, just like that. Then enter. Now click and go inside this SQL Temp. So click. Once you are in there, I want you to create two other folders in there. One folder called just like that, data. Enter. And create another folder in there called log. Okay, now we have this. We are ready to go. So, but another thing that I want us to create, another folder that I want us to create, click on this PC, go to your C drive, right click, create a folder in the C drive called, create two folders as a matter of fact, create one called software, and create a folder in the C drive that we are going to call SQL installation, or just call it installation. That's fine. Let's call it SQL installation. SQL install. Let's just call it. Let's make it short. SQL install. All right, just like that. Okay. So quick note. Some companies, the C drive is a no-go. The C drive belongs to the infrastructure/server team, right? Oh, you as a SQL DBA, you will have control over all this other drive, the backup, the data. But when it comes to the C drive, they'll tell you that, hey, do not install anything on that C drive, so you can install anything on the other drive though. So that's just FYI, so you understand, right? Every company have their own company policy. Right, we are done with SQL01 with partitioning and creating our drive. So let's minimize, or we can as a matter of fact, let's do it the right way. So let's remote desktop into SQL02. So let's come from here. It's SQL02. So let's connect. Okay, let's remote desktop. So let's go America 2025. Let's check the name. Let me check remember me so it doesn't keep asking me for my password, and boom. All right, as you can see, I'm in SQL02 and I'm going to do the same thing that I just did in SQL01. Let me close this. So first thing first, what I want to do is go down here and I start searching for partitioning. Once I do that, this comes up right here, create and format hard disk. Since we have done this already, I'm going to be a little bit faster because you already know what we will be doing. So I'm not going to be explaining a lot. I'm just going to go click, click, and click. So I'll click here. Once I click here, this opens up. I go to the C drive. I right click. Then I go to shrink. Once just wait for it to open up. So, okay, we are waiting for the shrink. Okay, and I'm going to put 80,000, 80123. So 80,000 MB, and I click shrink. Once it shrinks, I click, right click, and I go to new sample, go next, I go next, and I'm going to use B for backup. I'll go next, I'm going to give it a name, backup. Just like that. Then I'll go next, and I'll finish. Once that is done, I'll do the same routine. Right click on backups, and I'll go to shrink, and then I'm going to give it 20,000. So 20,000, just like that. Then I'll shrink it. Then over here, I'll click on it. I'll go to new sample. Then I'll go next. I'll go next. I'll stay with letter E, and I'll change the name right here to data. Then I'll go next, and I'll finish. See, very easy, right? Pretty fast. I'll go back again in backup. So I'll right click on backup, and I'll shrink the volume and change that again to 20,000. 1, 2, 3. That's 20,000, right? Or that's 200,000. That's 20, I believe. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's it. Then I'll shrink it. Then I'll right click on it. I go to new sample. I go to next, next, and go to the drop down. I will look for L, which is log. We go to next, and here we're going to change it to log. And I'm going to go to next, and I'll finish. One more I'll do. Okay, I go to backup again. Right click on backup, shrink it. Then I'll put another 20,000 in there. So 20, 1, 2, 3. Then I'll shrink it. Then I'll come right here where it says free space, right click on it, go to new volume, I go to next, I go to next, and I go all the way down, look for C, which is going to be the 10 dB. I go next, then I'm going to change new volume into temp, temporal dB, temp dB. Then I'll go next, and I'll finish. All right, so I have partitioned this drive, so I have multiple drives there. So let's go now and create those folders in the drive. So I'll close there, then I'll click on my yellow folder, File Explorer. I'll click on this PC. I have all these drives. So the first thing I want to do is my backup. So I'll double click in my backup to go inside. Then right click, go to new, go to folder, and I'm going to create a folder called SQL backup or backups. Yep, multiple backups. Enter. Then now I'll click on this PC. I'll go to data, which is E, right click, new folder, and I'll create a folder called SQL data. Click enter. I click on this PC, and I go to log. Right click on log, go to new, go to folder, and cancel that, and I'll create a folder called SQL logs. Enter. Go back, or let's click on this PC, and I'll go to my 10 dB right here. So click on the 10 dB, right click on it, go to new, go to folder, and I'll create a folder called SQL 10. All right, just like that. So click enter, and now I'll click to go in that 10 dB. Once I'm in the 10 dB, I'll right click, I'll go to new, go to folder, and I'll create a folder in there called data or data. Then right click again, go to new, create another folder in there called log, and click enter. All right, so we are almost done. So I have one more. Cancel from here, and we go to the C drive, this PC, and now we come here on the C drive. we are going to right click and we are going to create a folder named software. We name a folder named software. Enter, and we right click again, go to new, go to folder, and we're going to create a folder named SQL install, just like that. All right, and we click that, and we are done with our partitioning. So we are ready to go. Hopefully the class was a success. So let's go back and check and do a quick recap of what we have accomplished so far. Okay, let's look at this. So when we started, right, we did the introduction. We introduced what we were going to be doing, and I told you what type of laptop to get, to check the specifications and all that good stuff. Then we went and got all the software that we need for this class, right? The SSMS, SQL Server, the ISO file, the databases, everything that we need to succeed. Then we created our virtual machines on Hyper-V. Once we did that, we changed the name of the virtual machines, right? Because remember, the virtual machines had those funny names that say win something something. Then after that, we promoted one of the virtual machines to a domain controller. So the virtual machine is called domain. We made it into a domain controller. Once we did that, we create users on the domain controller. Also, we created service accounts that we are going to use for our SQL installation. Now, we also configure our IP addresses on all the computers so that we could join them to the domain controller. Then we learn how to RDP and ping our servers. And today we have partitioned our drive and create some folders. So we are done with the preparation phase, because everything we just did right here was mostly preparation for us to start doing SQL Server. So we will start with the real source as SQL DBAs. This is what we are going to be doing. Everything we just did right here at your job is going to be done by the infrastructure or server team, except for the fact that you can create folders or files, right? But partitioning and everything else will be done by an infrastructure team. So I hope so far everybody is good. I hope so far everybody is on the same page. And I will say this, right, real quick. Let's say you have a computer that was not so good, or that is not so good, and you had issues. You could not create these virtual machines. Yes, something I'll let you know, right? You can go on your local computer and you can create drives like we did, right? And once we start doing SQL installation, you can install SQL, right? Do everything. But the thing is, when we start doing always on, you won't be able to do always on because you will have just one server. So you can go on your local computer and you create a server, just call it hdc.sql01. And once you have that server, then you make drives like we just did on your local computer. Then once we do the installation, you follow us, you install, you patch it, you do everything. You do everything. But when it comes to always on availability, which is something that is part of SQL, which is really big, most companies or every company wants to have available data, or they want to have something that they ensure that it secures their data in case something happens, which is why always on is there, so you'll be able to learn that, which is a big deal. That is why I went this route, but you can still follow us if you want to. All right, with that being said, I'm going to end the class for today, and I'm going to see you when we start part 2, which is the SQL stuff, installation of SQL Server 2022 and SSMS. So bye-bye, ciao, ciao. Have a wonderful night or day wherever you are.